am back with layout number 2 for the holiday project. And if you haven't heard about the holiday project, it is a class that I launched back in November. And what we're doing is we're focusing on 12 holiday stories, stories that maybe you haven't told before or haven't considered telling before, whether it has occurred in your past or present or in the future. And if you want more information about the class, it is still available for $25. I posted a link below in the description section. So for my second layout, and as I've mentioned before, I'm doing a album on childhood memories. I decided to scrap up this photo, and what I've done is I've punched the photo out with a circle punch. And this is a picture of my brother. His name is Love. And then there's little bitty Vicky right there. And I was probably maybe about 5 years old or so. And my brother served in the U.S. military. He served in the Air Force. He was a firefighter. And he served for about 20 years. And it was always exciting when he could come home from Christmas. So we were that quintessential family that would, go to the airport and wait for our loved one to come home. And I love this memory because I remember as a child, I would get so excited. He and I are 15 years apart. And I joke that he's an old man. I'm 35 and he is 51, or he'll be 51 this year. And he is such a great big brother. He still is. He's a great guy. And I used to get so excited for him to come home. And my mother obviously would get excited. And during that time, and I don't know if this is still true in the military, if you had a family, typically you got priority in coming home for the holidays. Whereas if you were single, you usually had to stay on post, unless you can get approved for leave to come home. So on this particular Christmas, this was probably about 1985, 86. My brother did get to come home really excited. I'm going to read the journaling for you, and then I'm going to speed the video up so you can see me put the layout together. So the journaling reads, "There's nothing better than a loved one coming home on military leave. My brother, Love Majors Jr., served for 20 years in the U.S. Air Force. He entered the service when he was only 17 years old, fresh out of high school. Most holidays he wasn't able to come home, as many service personnel with families got priority over singletons. But when he did come home, it was cause for celebration. My brother and I are 15 years apart, and as a young child, I thought he hung the moon and the stars. I would eagerly await his arrival, asking my mom over and over, when is Buggy coming home? We called him Love Bug, by the way. Then finally, the day would arrive. We headed to the airport, which was super exciting in and of itself. During that time, family and friends were permitted to meet their loved ones at the gate of the plane terminal. You guys remember that? Like, those of you who are watching this, if you're old enough to remember that, how exciting was it to be able to meet your loved one at the terminal? I don't know if that's true in other countries, but here in the U.S. post 9/11, we can't do that anymore. So that was a really great memory, being able to meet your loved one at the plane terminal. My heart raced when I heard the airline staff announce his flight. Then the door would open to the terminal in preparation for the arriving passengers. One by one they came out, me on tiptoe, waiting to see my Love Buggy. Then at first sight I would squeal, "Love, love," and run into his arms. Mom would be in tears. She missed him so much. We both hugged and kissed him like there was no tomorrow. Our favorite guy, home at last. From that point on, I commanded his full attention, talking his ear off about whatever interested me at that time. When we arrived home, Mom would fix us dinner while Love put on his latest record, usually Michael Jackson. On Christmas Day, we would all get up. Mom and Love would have coffee while I opened my presents. And for that moment, our lives felt complete, all three of us back together. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up this video, and you can see how this layout comes together. All right, so here are the materials that I'm using. I got my journaling all typed out. I am using some papers that are exclusive to the Hit Kit Club, as well as from the Snow and Cocoa collection by Crate Paper. So what I want to do is cut out about I guess 1.5 inch strip from that really nice wood grain paper. And I want to create an 8.5 by 11 layout with that strip being to the left-hand side. So I'm going to trim up things here in a second. And I'm also rounding the corners, which I don't do very often. I'm going to take just an inch or less than an inch off of that side and then add on that wood grain paper there, which is so pretty. That works, and now I'm going to measure that out and try to make each side a bit more even, the white paper that is, so one's not more heavy than the other. And I'm going to go ahead and round the corners of that, the white background, and I'm good to go. So now I want to take this branding strip that came off the wood grain paper and add that to the left hand side just to add a little bit more interest. Now I'm going to lay my photo down because I want to play with some with the positioning of the photo. That wood veneer circle is from the, oh goodness, Ali Edwards December Daily Kit from 2015, and I never used it. It's just kind of been hanging around. So hopefully this year I will use that, but it doesn't actually make it on this layout. So as I mentioned, I punched the photo out using a large circle punch, and I did that prior to filming this video because I wanted to make sure that I could actually get both me and my brother in the photo. Now I'm taking a couple more of my circle punches and I'm punching out circles from pattern papers that came with the kit. One is actually a 6x6 paper pad, and that is from, it's American Crafts from the Home for Christmas collection. Actually, no, I'm sorry, it's from Pebbles. So that black and white striped paper and then the blue paper come from that 6x6 paper pack. So it's called Home for Christmas from Pebbles. And then the blue paper, I believe, came with my Hip Kit Club. I want to say that's exclusive. And then that paper that looks like it's like a blanket, I believe that's from the Snow and Cocoa collection. So now I want to pop up my photo a bit, just so it has a bit of prominence on the layout. Now, I was starting to work on the title, but I wasn't quite sure what I wanted it to say. I thought about saying, you know, coming home for Christmas or welcome home or something like that. But ultimately, I end up settling with coming home. And I'm going to adhere those circles down. And this is a really great way to get a lot of usage out of your pattern papers and to add a lot of character to your page without over embellishing if you're looking to do a clean and simple layout. I also punched some circles out of vellum, and I'm adhering that to my layout using my tiny attacher, so just a few staples there on each side of those circles, or at the top and bottom there, that little one. And I'm going to add some more circles at the bottom of the layout because I felt that it was just a little bit too much white space there at the bottom. Alrighty, so now I decide that I'm going to take this pattern paper, and this is from the Snow and Cocoa collection by Crate Paper as well. And I thought I was going to fussy cut some of these little houses out and make a little cluster at the bottom, but I abandoned that idea. Now I find this little label that says for the holidays, so the title was going to read Home for the Holidays, but I did not like that after a while, after I sat with it. I'm going to change that up here in a few. Now the little house idea, I thought it would be cute to put those down at the bottom, but once I sort of laid it out, I didn't really like it. So I'm going to take a little house and put it in the circle. Then I have an ornament that came from one of the ephemera packs with some of my Christmas stuff. I want to say that is from Snow and Cocoa as well. I have a little label there that I'm going to adhere to the side, just to add a bit more interest there on the left-hand side, and it says "So excited," because I really was uber excited for my brother to be home. I'm going to pop that little house up on a foam strip. I'm going to do the same with the ornament that's there at the top left, and then I will adhere the ampersand here in just a second. Now, not only was I super excited for my brother to be home, but that was the first year that I got a Cabbage Patch doll. And I was one of those kids, I was not enamored with them when they first came out. So it took me a couple of years to want a Cabbage Patch doll. So in the photo, you can't quite see it, but I'm holding my very first Cabbage Patch doll. Now I'm going to work some more on the title, and if you notice I moved the word home down just a little bit, and I'm going to add the word coming, so the title will read Coming Home, and I think that just fits a little bit better on the layout. Now the date I'm going to write on the back of the layout because I couldn't find a place on the layout that I wanted to put the date, so I put it there so at least I remember what year it was that I was documenting the story. And we're going to call this one Done. Be sure to check out the Victoria Marie blog for more information. If you're interested in taking this course, all the information is posted in the description box. Again, the course is available. It's self-paced if you're looking for a holiday project to get into. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you next time.